In April 2026, Netflix dropped Volume 1 of Stranger Things Season 5. Volume 2 arrives in 3 weeks. The Duffer Brothers have spent the last 6 months telling every interviewer the same thing. This season is darker than every prior season combined. Multiple named characters will die, and by the time the credits roll on the finale, the show that has run for 9 years will have ended with at least 3 permanent losses. Reddit, prediction markets, and even crypto betting sites have all converged on roughly the same casualty list. This is who Stranger Things is about to kill, and why. The first name on every fan list is Steve Harrington. Steve was supposed to die in Season 1. The original draft killed him in Episode 6. The character was meant to be a generic high school villain who got eaten by the Demogorgon. What happened instead is that Joe Keery's performance was so likable that the Duffers rewrote the entire third act. Steve survived, he kept surviving, he became over 5 seasons, the show's most beloved redemption arc, and in storytelling terms, the redemption arc has only one ending. The character earns the death he originally was written to have. Steve dies in Volume 2. Most analysts believe it happens in the second to last episode, sacrificing himself to save Dustin or Robin. The signal Reddit fixated on is a Volume 1 scene where Steve says, quote, "I always knew I'd die in this town," end quote. That line was not in the original script. It was added during a December 2025 reshoot. The Duffers do not write throwaway lines. Steve is dying. The second name is Jim Hopper. Hopper has been on a death timer since Season 3, when the show faked his death and brought him back from a Soviet prison. Every season since, Hopper has been increasingly battered, increasingly broken, and increasingly placed in harm's way. The Duffers have told the cast that Hopper's arc is, quote, "a closed loop," end quote. The closed loop is a fictional death that becomes a real one. The smart bet is that Hopper dies in the finale in the Upside Down, protecting Eleven from Vecna's final form. The visual setup for this has been seeded across 2 seasons. The compass shot from Season 1 that Hopper handed to Eleven returns in Volume 1. Whenever Stranger Things returns to a Season 1 symbol this late, somebody is dying. The third name is Jonathan Byers. Jonathan was given more screen time in Volume 1 than in the previous 2 seasons combined, but every minute of it was wrong. He is moody, he is distant. He has stopped photographing. He has stopped speaking to Nancy. The Duffers have always used screen time as a finance metric. When a character is going to die, they get a final emotional arc front-loaded into the season. Jonathan got that arc. The smart bet is that he dies protecting Will, in a sequence that mirrors the photography sequence from Season 1. His death would close the loop on the season's first episode where Will explicitly tells Mike, quote, "My brother is the one who looks out for me," end quote. The fourth name is Murray Bauman. Murray, played by Brett Gelman, has been the show's comic relief since Season 2. Stranger Things kills its comic relief almost every season. Bob Newby died in Season 2. Alexi died in Season 3. Eddie Munson died in Season 4. The pattern is so consistent that fans have started referring to it as the tribute slot. Murray is the obvious tribute slot for Season 5. He is the only side character with significant comedic real estate left, and the show needs the audience to feel the weight of the loss without losing a child or a romantic lead. Murray will die. There's also a death rumor about Robin Buckley. Robin has been written as Steve's platonic anchor for the last 2 seasons. If Steve dies, Robin's grief becomes the audience's grief. But the more disturbing theory, the one circulating heavily on the show's main subreddit, is that Robin dies first. Robin's death would be the trigger that pushes Steve to his own sacrificial moment. That theory is supported by the way Volume 1 frames Robin in the final scene. She is alone, she is unprotected. The camera lingers on her for an unusual 3 full seconds. The Duffers do not waste lingering shots. There is one more name to consider, and it is the most uncomfortable one. Will Byers' Will has been the show's structural protagonist since the pilot. He is the one whose disappearance started the entire story. Several fan theorists have argued that Stranger Things will end the only way a story this long can end, with the boy who started it. The argument is that Will has been telepathically connected to the Mind Flayer since Season 2, and that the only way to permanently sever the Upside Down from the real world is for that connection to be cut at its source. Will is the source. By the math of the story, Will is the final sacrifice. Most fans hope this theory is wrong. Most analysts privately admit it is the cleanest story engine path the writers have left. The list of likely survivors is shorter than the list of likely deaths, and that is itself the point. 11 survives. The show cannot kill its protagonist. Mike survives. The show needs a viewpoint character. Lucas survives. Lucas has already been put through the ringer in Season 4. Erica survives. The show is not killing a child. Max Mayfield survives. The Duffers have already telegraphed Max's arc as the season's emotional reset. Nancy survives. Nancy is too narratively useful as a survivor. Dustin survives. Dustin's grief is the audience's grief. The point of the survivor list is not that those characters are safe. The point is that the deaths will be concentrated among the older male side characters, and the survivors will be the ones who carry the cost. The Duffers have also made one other thing clear. Vecna does not survive. Vecna's defeat is the structural climax. The interesting question is whether Vecna's defeat is permanent or whether the Upside Down survives him. Several preview frames leaked from the Volume 2 trailer suggest a version of the world where Vecna is dead, but the Upside Down is closing on its own, sealing itself like a wound. If the Upside Down seals itself, somebody is being sealed inside it. The most likely candidate is Will Byers. For longtime viewers, none of this should be a surprise. Stranger Things has spent 5 seasons earning the right to kill its characters. The show began as a pastiche of 80s horror tropes. It has ended by Volume 2 of Season 5 as one of the most invested ensemble dramas on streaming by the finale. The cost of that investment is going to be paid out. Steve Hopper, Jonathan Murray, possibly Robin, possibly Will, at least 3, probably more. Pick your favorite character. Say goodbye while you can. By Christmas, Stranger Things is over. And the Hawkins ensemble that the audience has watched grow up since 2016 will not all be coming home.